Welcome back. Today we're going to continue our discussion of the determinants of demand. When we last talked, we looked at two determinants, income and taste, and found the way in which they influenced our buying habits. If income goes up, demand goes up, and vice versa. Tastes talk about our preferences, or in my mind, how popular things are. When things become more popular, demand will increase. When things become less popular, demand will decrease. Today, we're going to continue our discussion by looking at prices of related goods. And very specifically, our authors talked about those things that were either substitutes, one good used in place of each other, or complements, two goods that are purchased together. Let's begin, as our authors did, by talking about substitutes. And you know what these are. A Whopper for a Big Mac, Pepsi for Coke, a Chevy truck for a Ford truck. And again, for those of you who are die-hard Chevy fans, I've heard it all before. Ford is fix or repair daily, found on road dead. I know what that means. But basically, in most people's minds, a truck is a truck. What we're going to find is simply this. Price and demand move in the same direction for products that are substitutes. This D1 was our original demand curve. And let's say that this is a demand curve for Coke. Now, yesterday when you walked through the grocery store, Coke and Pepsi were both on the shelves for $4 a 12-pack. Today when you walk through there, the price of Pepsi has gone from $4 up to $5. Well, when that price of Pepsi increases, demand for Coke is going to increase. It's going to seem relatively less expensive, right? It's still on the shelf for $4. We think that Coke and Pepsi are pretty well the same thing, so when that price goes up, people are going to buy much more Coke. Same thing for a product like Sprite or Sierra Mist. If yesterday they were both on the shelves for $4 a 12-pack, and today the Sierra Mist goes up to $5, then the demand for Sprite would go up because it would seem relatively less expensive. Please remember that the opposite is going to be true too. If yesterday, as you'd been bopping through the grocery store, you found that Coke and Pepsi were on the shelves for $4 a 12-pack, today when you go through there that you find that Pepsi has gone down to $2 a 12-pack, I'm telling you right now that the demand for Coke is going to drop. It's going to drop drastically. And we talk about that as a shift left. That's the terminology that you're looking for. The price of Pepsi goes down. Everybody and their brother is going to be beaten into the grocery store buying Pepsi, and that Coke is just going to sit on the shelf. So for those goods that are substitutes, price and demand move in the same direction. If price of one good goes up, demand for the other will rise. If price of one good goes down, demand for the other will drop. Now our authors followed that up by talking about things that were complements, two goods that are purchased or used together. I think every time we go into one of the fast food places, we're going to get a Big Mac and fries or a Whopper and fries. If you're going to do some grilling this weekend and you're thinking, man, I'd like to put some hot dogs on the grill. If you buy hot dogs, you're probably going to buy hot dog buns. If you buy hamburgers for the grill this weekend, you're going to buy hamburger buns. Well, when we start looking at the relationship between price and demand for those complementary goods, what you're going to find is this: price and demand move in opposite directions. So again, let's go back to our original demand curve, and we'll talk about this as a demand curve for hot dog buns. If someone walks into the grocery store this weekend thinking, I'm going to do a little grilling, the weather's supposed to be nice, they look at the price of hot dogs, and the price of hot dogs has gone up to $5 for a package of hot dogs. People are going to look at that and go, you've got to be out of your stinking mind. I'm not going to pay $5 for a thing of hot dogs. So what will happen is this: when the price of hot dogs goes up, demand for hot dog buns is going to come down. Nobody's going to buy hot dog buns if they're not buying the hot dogs. What is somebody going to do? Walk into the store on the weekend and go, I think I'll buy some hot dog buns. Never going to happen. Of course, the opposite is going to be true too. If the price of hot dogs falls, demand for hot dog buns is going to increase. You're going to walk in the store and go, this is great. I can get a package of hot dogs for $1. I can have all my friends over and we'll have a cookout this weekend. So you're going to buy more hot dogs. When the price of hot dogs goes down, this demand curve, that's the demand curve for hot dog buns, the demand for hot dog buns is going to go way up. Okay, so two basic things. Price of related goods. Goods can either be substitutes for each other or goods can be complements. For those things that are substitutes, price and demand move in the same direction. For those goods that are complements, price and demand move in opposite directions. Now, when we come back, we'll take the last two items covered under the determinants of demand.